Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Dance Radio.
Prepare yourself.
Ang silid-aralan sa radyo, hatid namin ay makabagong paraan ng pagtuturo at kalaman. Mapaumaga, tanghali o hapon man yan, ang istasyong magbibigay impormasyon kahit saan man.
For something big.
Alright, here we go.
106.3 Dance Radio. Doña Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela.
This
106.3 DWDR-FM. Facts and information. Today's learning for new normal with capable teachers whose heart and soul are divine. Delivered knowledge inside your home through 106.3 Dance Radio. Fully dedicated to serve the public in tribute to education, reproduce of radio-based instruction. We are pleased to deliver the utmost aim of education only here on 106.3 DWDR-FM.
Blessing of grace, peace, and joy be with all today. Be with us. I'm Teacher Dennis Mendoza, and with me is Teacher Jennifer Velasco to give us the introduction for today's lesson. Ma'am Jen?
Hello, good morning, Sir Dennis. Good morning, Ma'am Bebs and Ma'am Venus. Sorry. Ma'am Venus, and of course to our very handsome technical specialist, Sir Jashiel. Magandang umaga, mga magigiting naming tagapakinig. And of course, hello to our dear Donians. Good morning and a blessed Thursday to everyone. Today is another amazing day, another opportunity, and another chance for us to learn something new. Ayan, hihinga nga muna ako, Sir Dennis, pwede? Fresh from distribution team, Kagagawa po ng daan ng Bilyan naman sa singit-singit muna ako. Oo, singit-singit. Okay? 3 minutes
magaling ka
before
dyan,
the time
Ma'am
po
Jen.
aking arrival. Salamat at humabol. Ayan. And of course, good morning to our officer in charge, the Chief Education Supervisor of SDO Isabela, Sir Rodrigo V. Pascua. Good morning, sir. And of course, to our Assistant Principal, Ma'am Rudy Guillermo. Hello also to our supportive head teachers out there, especially to our very own head teacher, Mrs. Apelia S. Lalotin. Also to all the teachers and staff of Doña Aurora National High School, especially to the very proactive and dynamic teachers of the English learning area. Ayan, hoping nakikinig po sila. To the parents, their students, and to all our avid listeners and viewers here and abroad, of course, most especially to our grade 10 learners, to my 10 Molave and 10 Banaba, and to the other grade 10 classes, Camagong, Mahogany, Acacia, and Almasiga. And with me are the other grade 10 teachers, Ma'am Beverlyn Ramirez, Ma'am Venus J. Lintao, and the only rose among the thorns, Sir Dennis Mendoza.
Bet na bet. Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Jen. Good day, amazing grade 10 learners, and also to our radio listeners via Dance Radio 106.3 FM, and our avid viewers via FB live stream. I hope you're all safe wherever you are, so stay safe kahit yung iba hindi nag-i-stay. Good day to my 10 Talisay, and to all other grade 10 classes, 10 Yakal, 10 Tangile, 10 Tindalo, and Sinagtala. I'm Teacher Beverlyn L. Ramirez.
Okay, so good morning also, and hello to all our listeners. I am Teacher Venus. I would also like to greet my English classes, my advisory class, 10 SPJ, and my other class, 10 Sinagtala. Please stay with us until the end of this segment.
I would like also to greet 10 G. Melina and 10 Nara. I hope you will stay with us until the end of today's lesson.
Okay, thank you so much, dear teachers. Indeed, today is another wonderful day, and we are glad to be with you as we embark on another fun-filled learning journey for the fourth and the last lesson for the second quarter. And for today's lesson, you are expected to letter A. Differentiate the modes of communication. Letter B. Define multimodal text. And letter C. Explain the importance of using multimodal text to everyday life.
Okay, for those who are following us via our Facebook live stream, don't forget to comment in our chat box, #lesson accomplished in grade 10 English. And may we also encourage all those who are with us today to please share this FB live stream so that many learners and listeners will learn something from our simple discussion today. So please click share.
Yes.
Yes. Click share.
Share.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. So before we proceed to the discussion of today's lesson, let's have a review of our lesson last Thursday on opinion and assertion. Okay. I mean, no, yun pala yung lesson natin nung day week 2.
Week 2.
Ayan. Okay. So, actually, our week 3 lesson has something to do with expository essay.
Yes.
So, what is this type of essay? It is something that explains how to do something, how something works, or simply that is written to provide information on a particular topic or issue. Okay, so just like any other type of essay, it has 3 parts, namely the introduction, where you can find background information and your thesis statement. The second part is composed of at least 3 body paragraphs that would support your claim or your thesis statement. And the third part is the conclusion, where you can summarize your point in the introduction, or you can restate your thesis statement.
Okay.
Okay.
For us to determine if you really understood your previous lessons, may I ask you some questions to answer? All you have to do is to key in the correct answer. Of course, item number first, then your answer or the letter of the correct answer. Again, ulitin ko lang ha. Isulat ang number or numero ng bilang plus ang tamang letra ng sagot. Of course, winners will take or receive 20 peso worth of load. So let's have number 1. So here is now your chance to win. Palimpak-limpak na papremyo. Ayan, di ba?
20 million worth of cellphone load. Okay.
Courtesy of Sir Dennis Mendoza. Yan, Ninong Dennis siya ngayon. Merry Christmas, Sir Dennis. Let's have number 1. Okay. In an expository essay, the thesis statement is most effective when it occurs, letter A, as the first sentence in the conclusion, letter B, as the first sentence in the introduction, letter C, as the first sentence in the first body paragraph, or letter D, as the last sentence in the introductory paragraph. O, saan daw siya dapat nakalagay or most effective to be placed? Okay, may mga sagot na ba?
Key in your answers, whether it's letter A, B, C, or D. And also don't forget to key in the item
As ni
number.
Timoteo, ma'am, sumagot na po. Letter A daw. Yan. Siya yung kumpleto, 8 SPJ, #lesson accomplished, grade 10 English. Kumpleto siya.
Okay.
Oo.
Again we are trying to look for here the thesis statement. Saan ba dapat nakikita ang thesis statement? Okay.
Saan daw siya mas effective?
Okay. Where is
Yes.
it?
We are talking about the
to be
thesis
placed?
statement here,
Conclusion
my dear
ba?
student.
Introduction, body paragraph, or introductory paragraph?
Risa Urbano, A pa rin ang sagot niya. Okay. Jonah, Jamaica, wala. JC Marita Bago, B.
Saan daw siya mas powerful?
Charlene Joy, Marcelo Saad, A.
The first sentence ba ng conclusion?
Jasmine Medina, B. Sai de la Cruz, B.
Okay, let's reveal the correct answer, Ma'am Bebs.
Yes. The correct answer is
Letter
D.
D.
Okay. O, sige.
So I think nobody got the correct answer. So please take note of that, our grade 10 learners, that the thesis statement is most effective when it is found at the end of your introduction or the last sentence of your introduction or the first paragraph, which is usually your introduction. Okay, moving on to question number 2.
Okay, number 2 is
Naku,
sponsored.
walang nakakuha ng sagot natin,
sayang.
no? Sayang.
So, dadagdag yung 20 pesos dito sa pangalawa na makakasagot. Ayan, tama ba?
May nag-answer, sir. May
Ay,
nakakuha pero nasabi na natin yung sagot.
Nasabi na natin sagot Oo, so sorry ha. Okay.
Sayang natagalan yung pag-ano
Ito susunod
nila.
ay sponsored by Ma'am Venus. 20 pesos load. Ayan. Ito po ang tanong. Basahin natin ang tanong, ha? Number 2. Dito ba number 2? Okay, number 2. Body paragraphs are strongest when. Okay, body paragraphs are strongest when A. They are short and sweet. B.
Just like
They
you.
are written with fancy words. Letter C. They are developed through the use of examples. Or D. They contain loads of generalities and hypotheticals. Answers A, B, C, or D. Come on, guys. Number 2.
Key in the item number and
Meron
the
tayo,
letter
ma'am. Si
of your answer.
Rensnel Angela of 10 Almasigat. D. Ira Asuncion. C. Minerva Curameng. C. Jonah Jamaica Tagunan. C. Aisel Guzman. C. Risa Urbano. D. Jasmine Medina. C. Alwin Bernardo. C. JC Marita Bago. C. Cyril Labagni Feliciano.
Okay,
C.
we gave them
Bigyan natin sa aming
some
sagot.
powerful tips, Ma'am Beverly, on how to write body paragraphs. We have mentioned that the last time. Okay, ano kaya ang tamang sagot dito?
Okay, so tignan natin ang sagot.
Okay.
Shall we reveal the answer now?
Siguro.
Did
Oo,
somebody get correct answer already? Okay,
Marami nang sumagot at marami na akong
ano?
nakitang nagbigay
Yeah.
ng tamang
Survey
sagot.
says! Sabay survey
The
says.
correct answer is
Letter
Letter
C.
by using examples.
Yes. Ganun talaga
Not
yun.
only examples, marami pang way, but that is one of the ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does not necessarily need to be short and sweet.
Last time, Ma'am, we have discussed about the comparison and contrast, right?
You don't need to use fancy words.
Jonah, Jamaica, Tangonan, Castro.
But you just give examples
10
or
mentally.
even surveys.
Yes.
Results of
10
surveys,
mentally.
statistics,
Yeah.
or statements coming from well-known
Yes.
people.
O mga anak na mapipili namin, mga nagwagi ha, pakitext po ninyo ang inyong mga subject teacher. Sabihin kayo po yung nanalo.
Okay, Ma'am Venus.
Okay, so let's have the third one. Okay, makinig na mabuti. Which of the following tips will assist in drafting the expository essay? Is it letter A? Create an outline showing the information to be presented in each paragraph, organized in logical manner. B. Each of the three body paragraphs should cover a point that develops the essay's thesis. C. Ask yourself, is the sentence structure varied? Is the word choice precise? Or letter D, ask yourself, does the essay give an unbiased analysis that unfolds logically using relevant facts and examples? So saan doon sa mga statements from A to D will
Help them
help
develop.
them in drafting the expository essay.
Jonah, Jamaica, may sagot na po siya. A. Okay. Si JC Marita Bago, A. Aisel Guzman, A. Novi Ramos, A. Minerva Curameng, A. Ryan Jelin Bisaya, A.
Are they sure? Okay.
Be sure.
Are you really sure, dear learners?
Binibigyan
Take
na
note, expository
binibigyan na
essays.
kayo ng clue, mga
They
anak.
must be
Binibigyan na kayo
based
ng
on
clue. Sayang
something.
naman ng 40,
Okay.
40 pesos ba yun, Ma'am Venus?
And as we develop the body paragraph,
Ay, hindi pala to. Iba pala.
as we develop body paragraphs, we use by examples,
Yes.
and it must be based on, it must be factual, let us just say.
Mm-mm.
It must be coming from irrelevant sources or persons, okay? Credible ones. Okay, are you sure of your answer, dear learners?
Jonah, Jamaica, sabi na naman niya, B. Okay, si Ashley Timoteo, B.
Sige.
Okay,
Ashley,
let's
Ashley.
reveal the letter of the correct answer and The answer for number 3 is letter...
Tan-tan!
May ano pa talaga. Letter A.
Tama.
Ayan, di ba?
Sino ba yun?
Sinong nakuha ng tamang sagot?
Actually, most of them really answered. Okay, hindi mo sila kailangan lituhin, Sir Dennis, ano?
Wait, hanap ko sino
let's
una.
see.
Si Kunyata
Sinong
na-
pinakauna
nawala
nagbigay
na.
ng tamang sagot?
Nawala na.
Ayan.
nawala
For
na,
number
nawala na,
3.
sayang.
Is it Hazel Guzman, the first
Hindi,
one?
meron pa nauna kayo.
May nauna na, saan na? O sige, we'll just review ang ating mga first texter and
Oo.
declared us
And then don't
winner.
forget to send your subject teachers in English 10 your cell phone number so that we can send you your load.
Kung gusto naman yung cellphone nyo, padala nyo.
Okay, dear learners, congratulations and thank you so much. Your answers really show that you really understood our previous lesson. So we hope that you're going to stay with us until the last minute of this segment. At this moment, get your learning activity sheets and your writing materials because here now is your RBI lesson. Please enjoy listening and listen attentively. See you in a while. Dance Radio, siniparalan sa radyo, atid namin makabago, paraan ang pagtuturo.
Wala nang makakapigil pa. Sulong Arangkada 106.3 Dance Radio sa Aurora, Isabela.
Edukasyo'y susulong, basta't magtulong-tulong, sulong edukalidad. Dance Radio, learning is amazing.
Language,
Grammar and Literature,
a program that will develop your vocabulary.
Comprehension, Critical and Analytical Skills,
This is the English Learning Area. Only here on 106.3, the WDRFM Dance Radio.
where learning is amazing. Quality education cannot be stopped by any pandemic. All possible ways of learning are being utilized by the Department of Education to ensure the realization of its battle cry, Sulong Edukalidad. Good day, grade 10 learners, and to all our avid listeners. I am your radio teacher, Teacher Jennifer A. Velasco, and we are now on the last week of the second quarter. Make sure you have with you your learning activity sheets in English 10 and your pen for the writing of notes.
Yes, ma'am.
Take note that the title of your learning activity sheets must be Composed Text, which include multimodal elements. Before we proceed to our lesson, let's have a brief review of the previous lesson we had. Let's start. Directions. Identify if each of the statements given are true or false. Number 1. An expository essay has 3 parts. I repeat, an expository essay has 3 parts. What is your answer?
True, ma'am, because an expository essay always contains 3 parts, namely introduction, body, and conclusion.
You are correct. It is also a genre of writing that tends to explain a concept or an issue. Number 2. An argumentative essay's purpose is to persuade the readers or listeners. Is it true or false?
False, ma'am. An argumentative essay is a genre of writing that presents arguments surrounding 2 sides of any particular issue.
Very well said. Now that you are acquainted with those 2 categories of text in communicating your ideas, with our new lesson today, you can create your text using different ways or modes of communication. At the end of our discussion, you are expected to 1. Write text that include multimodal elements, and 2. Explain the importance of using multimodal text. Today, you are going to explore the power of words, combining them with the other elements to make them more meaningful and easier to understand. To begin with, let me ask you this. Can you imagine life without technology?
Ma'am, I think life without technology is definitely boring. Our classes, for example, might end up the traditional way. Ma'am, I agree with what my classmate mentioned earlier, ma'am. Technology plays a vital role in our lives, especially this time of pandemic, that our classes are conducted virtually.
Nice insights! Indeed, technology is very useful in our lives as they are also great sources of communication. With technology, our works become easier and faster. Don't you know, dear learners, that with the use of technology, we can be very creative by combining any two or more modes of communication?
Really, ma'am?
Yes, that is possible by using the different multimodal elements. But first, do you know the 5 multimodal elements that I am referring to?
Yes, ma'am. These elements are commonly defined in terms of the 5 modes of communication, namely linguistic, visual, audio, gestural, and spatial.
Correct! Those are the 5 modes of communication. Let's discuss first the linguistic mode of communication. What is it?
Ma'am, it includes written and spoken words through the use of grammar and vocabulary. This mode is the most widely used because it is the form that most people are familiar with.
You're right. How about the visual mode of communication?
The visual mode relies on pictures and moving images, color, visual layout, design, formatting, symbols, and animation, ma'am.
Ma'am, in addition, this mode helps writers communicate meaning in a way that can be seen by the audience.
Exactly! What about the audio mode of communication?
Ma'am, audio relies on music, sound, volume, rhythm, speed of delivery, pitch, tone, and voice. This mode aids in bringing words to life.
Yes! How about the gestural mode of communication? Do you have any idea about this?
Ma'am, gestural lies on movement, facial expression, body language, and interactions between people.
Additionally, this mode is often combined with other modes to provide an enhanced sensory experience for the audience, ma'am.
Very well said! We also have the spatial mode. Can you share your ideas about it?
Ma'am, the spatial mode of communication lies on the position, physical arrangement, spacing, organization, proximity, direction, and distance of elements in a text.
Very good! We shall have more of this after a short break. Don't go away because I will be right back. It's time for our English trivia. Trivia.
Did you know that the earthly scent produced when rain falls on dry soil is called petrichor?
What?
Let's spell it out. Petrichor. P-E-T-R-I-C-H-O-R. Petrichor.
Isn't it amazing?
Amazing!
Now you know!
Hello, I'm back. We have just discussed the 5 modes of communication. What are they again?
Ma'am, the 5 modes of communication are linguistic, visual, audio, gestural, and spatial.
Yes! Dear learners, when you combine any 2 or more of those modes in communicating your ideas, your output is called a multimodal text. Do you have any idea about what a multimodal text can be?
Ma'am, a multimodal text can be paper, such as books, comics, and posters, ma'am. Ma'am, it can also be digital, such as slide presentations, e-books, blogs, e-posters, and even live, such as performance or an event.
Correct! To deepen your understanding of today's lesson, let's do some activities found in your learning activity sheets. Turn your learning activity sheets to page 14 and let's do activity 1 titled Choose Your Mode. Directions. Which modes of communication is or are shown in the following illustrations? Write your answer in your answer sheets and explain using 1 or 2 sentences. Let's start with number 1. You will find there a movie poster. What is the title of the movie poster?
The Avengers, ma'am.
Yes! Which of the 5 modes is represented in this movie poster?
Ma'am, the movie poster uses only 2 modes, namely linguistic, particularly written, and the other mode is visual because it is visible to the eye.
You are right! Let's move to number 2. Can you describe the picture?
There is a couple dancing, ma'am.
Exactly! Which of the 5 modes is represented by these people dancing?
Visual and gestural, ma'am. Because dancing is a visual presentation that involves bodily movements and uses body language and facial expression.
Correct! Let's have number 3. Which of the 5 modes is represented in the cartoon Pokemon? Take note that Pokemon is a cartoon that is being shown in a television. What modes of communication are used?
Audio and visual, ma'am. Because movies use audio-visual modes of communication.
Very good! Take note that creating digital multimodal text involves the use of communication technologies. However, multimodal text can also be paper-based or live performances. Now let's move to activity 2 titled Sample Sample. This time, let's combine text with multimodal elements. Using your cell phone or tablet or digital camera, take a picture of anything that interests you.
Ma'am, how about those who don't have any gadget, smartphone, or camera?
Okay! For those without available gadgets, you can cut a picture from a magazine or newspaper, or you can simply draw your own output. From the picture or image you captured or created, compose a 2 to 3 sentence narrative or descriptive text expressing your feelings or narrating what happened in that picture or image. Don't forget to follow the given template in your learning activity sheets. Kindly read the criteria in making your outputs.
Criteria 1. Clarity of description or narration 50%, and 2. Creativity or visual appeal, also 50% for a total of 100%.
Thank you! Again, the 2 criteria are clarity of description or narration and creativity or visual appeal. You may finish accomplishing this activity after the broadcast. Meanwhile, let's have a break. Don't go away. I will be right back. Do you encounter problems in accomplishing the different activities in your modules or learning activity sheets?
Worry no more because your teachers are always ready to guide and assist you. You can send your questions or clarifications in 2 easy ways. 1. Call or text. And 2. Private message. So easy, right? Remember, at Doña Aurora National High School, we make amazing things possible.
This reminder is brought to you by Doña Aurora National High School and this station.
Hello, I'm back. Let's sum up what we have just discussed today. For you to remember easily the 5 modes of communication, can you make your own acronym for them?
I want to use the word VLAGs, which means visual, linguistics, audio, gestural, and spatial, ma'am.
Nice acronym! You may also use any other acronyms if you wish. How are multimodal texts created?
Ma'am, multimodal texts are created when 2 or more modes such as linguistic, be it written or spoken, visual, audio, gestural, and or spatial are combined.
Very good! Why is the use of multimodal text or elements important?
Ma'am, multimodal texts or elements can be beneficial for both students and teachers because it will make the teaching learning process more interesting and engaging.
I agree, ma'am. Our RBI live discussion is one perfect example of multimodal elements using audio-visual modes, ma'am.
Those are brilliant ideas. Now, let's evaluate if you have really understood today's lesson. Listen attentively and analyze each statement carefully. Write true if the statement is correct and false if the statement is incorrect. Ready?
Yes, ma'am!
Number 1. Multimodal elements must use 2 or more modes of communication. Again, multimodal elements must use 2 or more modes of communication. Is it true or false?
Ma'am, true. Because it must use 2 or more modes of communication.
Correct! Number 2. Live musical performance uses multimodal elements. Again, live musical performance uses multimodal elements. What is your answer?
True, ma'am. Most live musical performances use the 5 modes of communication.
You are right! Lastly, number 3. The use of technology is important in making digital multimodal text. Again, the use of technology is important in making digital multimodal text.
True, ma'am.
Very good! For your final task, accomplish the reflection part that talks about 1. Learnings, 2. Realization, and 3. Promise.
Ma'am, I want to share my reflection. The 5 types or modes of communication which can be spelled as VLAGS or visual, linguistic, audio, gestural, and spatial are my new learnings. I realized that the use of multimodal elements will make us more creative. Lastly, I promise to use my gadget in creating multimodal text or innovative outputs.
That's very impressive! Don't forget also to answer honestly the summative test and validating questions. Write your answers on a separate sheet of papers. Dear learners, I wish to express my congratulations for we have finished another lesson today. We are done with Quarter 2, Shift 1. We would like to acknowledge the production team of this RBI lesson. Technical Specialist, Mr. Michael John M. Tumulak.
Alright!
Language Editor, Mrs. Annabel C. Acopido. Content Editors, Mr. Vicente S. Rodriguez, Master Teacher, and Mrs. Ofelia S. Ralutin, Head Teacher of the English Learning Area. Thank you for staying with us for another fun-filled learning experience. This is your scriptwriter and radio teacher, Teacher Jennifer A. Velasco, leaving you an inspiring quote by CIKD. Communication is king, but understanding is everything. Once again, good day and keep safe. Stay tuned for our RBI live discussion.
Language,
Grammar and literature.
a program that will develop your vocabulary.
Comprehension. Critical and analytical skills.
This is the English Learning Area. Only here on 106.3, the WDRFM Dance Radio.
Where learning is amazing.
Dance Radio, siniparalan sa radyo, atid namin makabago, paraan ang pagtuturo.
Wala nang makakapigil pa. Sulong Arangkada 106.3 Dance Radio sa Aurora, Isabela.
Edukasyo'y susulong, basta't magtulong-tulong, sulong edukalidad. Dance Radio, learning is amazing.
Yes, and we're back. Okay, so dear learners, you have just heard your fourth and last lesson for the second quarter. Yay! Last na to. And of course, to start with our discussion for today's lesson, I will give you a question to answer. May I encourage each and everyone to please participate by placing your answers or key in your answers in our chat box.
And Ma'am
Okay.
Bels, ipaulit nga natin sa mga anak din natin na kindly share this live stream in any of the GCs siguro nila and to their classmates.
Oo, you
Para
send the
naman
link para
magkaroon tayo ng
everybody
mga
will
viewers.
listen. Yeah, with
Maybe they are busy.
everybody will listen and learn from our discussion for today. Okay,
Yes, please
again,
share.
please key in your answers in our chat box for your participation. So, here is our question. How do you usually convey or communicate your feelings or emotions?
Paano daw nilang pinakikita o pinadarama ang kanilang mga nararamdaman?
Yeah, whatever emotion is that. Anger, sorrow, happiness. How do you usually convey it or communicate it to others? No? Ikaw nga, Ma'am Venus, while waiting for the answers coming from our students. How will you answer that question?
How do you usually convey or communicate your feelings or emotions?
Yes.
So, I use verbal communication most of the time to share information with other people. So, I use sounds and words to express myself. But of course, sometimes I also use gestures like waving to a friend, and that's my way of saying hello.
Yeah, thank you, Ma'am Venus. Usually, we use the yung verbal. Kasi most of the time, dun tayo mas comfortable. At yun yung mas sanay na tayo, yung sasalita. Whether you are happy, whether you are sorry, or you are angry. What about you, Ma'am Jen?
You are asking me, Ma'am Bebs? Of course, alam mo na yan. Kapag nakita mo na akong la 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 la, gumaganyan, la 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 la, gumaganyan na ako, Ay, ginadaan ko yan sa awit, Ma'am Bebs. I convey my emotions through singing. Okay? And
Ako
at
din.
times, ay nako, ambisyoso. Okay. Well, magaling po umawit yan si Ma'am Bebs, ano? And not only through singing that I express my emotions, Ma'am Bebs. At times, also, I am very vocal. Sinasabi ko talaga, especially when I am mad. And at times also, I try to express my emotions using gestures. Ayan, kinakalabit ko si Sir Dennis. Kung may gusto akong sabihin, kinukuldi-kulding ko yan. Okay, may naalala
Kasi ikaw
kayo.
yung kulding girl ng English
yes.
department.
That's how I express my emotions, Ma'am Bebs.
Yeah, Ma'am Jen. Actually, I agree with what you said because we have different ways actually of communicating our feelings. Because I believe na different feelings, different emotions suggest different ways of expression or communication.
In addition, Ma'am Bebs, and what I noticed also is kung ano yung kadalasan mong ginagamit on how you express your emotions, it is where you are good at. It's your inclination. Kagaya
Kung saan ka
ako,
sanay,
ikaw.
sanay na sanay.
Kaya magaling kang, lagi kang umaawit kasi you are good at it. Alam nga naman kakanta ka, hindi ka naman pala marunong kumanta, di ba?
Ako kumakanta naman ako kahit hindi ako marunong.
Mahilig kang gumuhit, ipakita ang talent mo because you are good at it. It's our inclination. That's what I have noticed. Okay.
Oo. Ako, minsan, na-appreciate ko pa yung silence kasi there are many things that you can convey in silence.
And that is non-verbal, di ba? But it's very powerful.
Yeah. Sometimes it's more powerful than the verbal communication.
Yes.
Okay, before I will ask Sir Dennis, may we just read some answers coming from our students kasi marami na palang sumasagot dito. According to Ira Asuncion, sabi niya, I usually convey or communicate my feelings by telling them directly and also use gesture. So more on verbal and gestural si Ira.
Angelica Nuesa, sabi ni Angelica Nuesa, I convey or communicate my feelings through saying what I really feel and sometimes I express my emotion through gestures.
Okay. Kay Alexis naman, through writing poems. Galing naman, no?
O, di ba? Yan
O kaya minsan yung iba
co-compose
ng kanta.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially kapag, alam mo, there are many things that we can do when we are inspired. And with that
Most especially,
inspiration, we are
yes.
driven to write something or to do something.
Yes. Cyril Labagnoy Feliciano by showing facial expressions and being vocal with other people.
Okay, so gestures then and verbal for
Yeah.
Cyril.
Yes.
Okay, the same is true with Mikey Castro Eugenio, gestures and facial expressions.
Yes.
And of course, si Jonah Jamaica from 10 Mendeleev through gestures. Yung din, wala ka lang sinasabi pero nagmo-move lang yung mga hands mo, yung body language.
Yes, actually yun palang pagmulagat ng mata, no? May something na
Yung
yan.
mata mo pa lang pag medyo umikot-ikot na,
Yung
meaning you're trying to
yung mga
convey
hook na hook
something.
nga, Mare, sa K-pop ba yun? Paano ba yun? Hindi kasi makita yung daliri ko. Pag ganyan, gumanyan lang.
Oo,
yan.
pag
Nakikinig
nakita mo na yan,
Oh,
hand
heart.
gesture na yan, ibig
Okay.
sabihin. Okay, ikaw naman Sir Dennis pala, nakalimutan kong
Okay na,
sinabi.
nasabi na lahat. Wala na akong
Oo,
masasabi.
nasabi na lahat.
Oo, yeah.
Well, as for me siguro Sir Dennis, dahil kilala natin to, no? He is more verbal. Parang,
Okay lang yan.
that's how I know him. I just do not know kay Ma'am Riza. Because at times, the expression or mode of communication we use depends on the person.
It depends on your personality.
Who is your girlfriend? O, di ba? Hindi pwede yun. Medyo magkaiba ng konti, di ba? Okay. Dear learners, we are very happy to see and read your answers because it seems that you really have an idea already of our topic today.
Verbal tsaka gestures kasi yung talagang pinupunto nila.
Oo, most of the time, yun yung ginagamit naman natin.
Kasi may mga taong di makaintindi kahit gesture ka lang.
O, di maintindihan ng gestures kasi bulag.
Yeah. That's why later I will tell kung ano yung bakit importante itong mga elements na to at sino ba dapat ang gagamit nito. Okay. So, dear learners, don't you know that every person has different ways of expressing or communicating his or her ideas.
Yes.
And in doing so, one may use any of the modes of communication and at times pinagko-combine pa yan.
Yes.
Okay. And of course, today we're going to discuss the various modes of communication, but today we're just going to focus discussing 5, namely linguistic, gestural, audio or oral, We also have visual and what we call spatial. Hindi po oral,
spatial.
it's oral. A-U. Hindi yung oral na O. Okay. So let's have first linguistic mode of communication. Okay. If you're going to look at it, linguistic, language. Ayan. So when we focus on linguistic, it is most probably focusing on vocabulary, structure, grammar of something that is written, or oral, yung sinasabi natin. Oh, what is the perfect example for linguistic? It is like this, our daily conversation, verbal conversation. Okay? Nagsasalita tayo. And when you're doing your writings,
You write your essays, you write your poems.
you write your answers. And dahil letters yan, that is also an example of linguistic. Lahat ng
When
may
you compose
letters.
a song,
Tama. Yung mga awit natin, it's out of letters and words, linguistic yan. Okay. We have also number 2, audio. Of course, dito sa ating audio, kailangan i-focus on sound, music, spoken words. And kung gusto mo talaga at para maging effective itong mode of communication na to, dapat walang palya ang ating auditory nerve o yung tinatawag nating pangdinig natin. Otherwise, even we talk with them, we try to deliver through audio, iparinig mo sa kanya kung wala naman siyang sense of hearing, the communication, of course, there will be a barrier. So, ayan, for audio, gagamit tayo
that's
ng
where we
mga
practice our listening skills. Sabi nga, listening is the beginning of understanding.
Kaya Ma'am Deb, sa school minsan, we conduct tests of those who have difficulties in hearing. We try to put them in front of, or at the first row for them to hear what the teacher says. Kasi it's understanding nga importante. Okay, I hope that's clear.
Right.
Pag sinaksak mo ang yung headphone, nakinig ka ng most favorite song mo, that's already audio. Okay.
Pag nakinig ka sa dinadaldal ng classmate mo, or sa kwento na chinichika sa'yo ni Marites.
Ni Marites, ayan.
That's
Yung tagabang
audio.
dyan ng mga chismis ni Marites. Audio yan. And when you listen to our RBI discussion,
that
also
falls under audio.
Audio. Okay, we also have number 3, which is visual. Again, if you would like to use visual mode of communication, first and foremost, dapat walang palya ang ating mga optic nerve or something parts ng ating mga mata. Walang
Ito
problema.
naman, our sense of sight.
Yeah,
Visual.
Paningin. Okay? Walang sira ang ating cornea or whatever part of the eyes. Okay. Now, with this visual mode of communication, there is a use of colors, shapes, patterns, and still or moving object. Lahat ng nakikita ng mata, anything that is pertaining to the eye. Yan po ay visual. Sample, nanonood kayo sa amin. Visual yan. Nakikita nyo kami. Nakakita ka ng letter. Nakita mo, that's already visual. Nakakita ka ng nakakita ka ng poster. Ibang movie yata yung nabanggit ko. Oh, yeah, that is also visual. And we have number 4, gestural. Ayan. Alam niyo po yung mga mahihilig sa gestural, at times, they are good at dancing. Inclination nilang sumayaw. Why? Because gestural, it pertains to movement, expression, and body language. Okay, sino kaya ang naalala ko dito sa pinakamagagaling na pumunta ka na lang ng isang resto, tapos nagganyan ka lang, ano yung hinihingi ko? Oh, I'm getting my cheat ba yun? Ready na akong mag-pay out, magbayad.
You don't need to say anything.
Yeah. Yan ang gestural.
Ito yung you say it best when you say nothing at all.
Ay, pakikanta nga naman.
Diba? Maraming mga gestures. Alimbawa, nagnanad ka.
Yeah.
You say yes.
Oo, tama.
You say it best when you say nothing
Yung
at
tipong
all.
nakita mo yung crush mo, tapos yung tipong gumanyan
ngumiti ka lang.
You didn't say a word.
Kaya
but
when you
so much emotions.
Yes. Ayan. When you wave your hand, o kaya nag-signal ka ng ganyan.
Sir Dennis, pag gumanyan daw, tapos may palabas pa ng dila.
Ganyan.
Kindat lang, okay na yun.
Ay, kindat daw kay Sir Dennis.
Those things fall under gestural.
Yes, because gestural is most primarily concerned for the non-verbal
Di mas lalo na yung mga
way of communication.
Ma'am Jen, yung mga hindi nakakapagsalita.
Yes. Yan po, perfect example po. Why we have tackled that? Because if someone is not capable of doing written language or the linguistic mode of communication, they
Yung
divert
You
it.
use the
they divert
gestural
it
mode.
via,
Yung pipe.
ayan, gestural, which is body language or sign language.
Oh, yung mga pipe, paano bumili ng posporo?
Oh, alam mo, wag mo nang palawigin pa. Kasi
Paano sila bubili ng
Oh,
posporo?
paano sila bili posporo? Yung mga
Paano?
pipe. Mga pipe, paano bumili ng posporo?
Oh, how?
Di ganun, di ba? Di ba ganun?
Hindi. If they have watched the movie of Napoles, Gerald, and si
Diba?
si Kim, o yung magjowa, through sign language, yun yung mga perfect example ng ating
Yung bulag, paano bumili ng sigarilyo?
Ano, sir?
Ikaw, paano nga? Ikaw nga.
Hindi ko kasi iniisip yan.
Sige, ikaw, sabi mo.
Bulang?
Oh, bulag, paano bumili ng sigarilyo? Sige,
Bulag ka
ano?
naman,
Sige,
nakakapagsalita
paano?
ka. Sabihin mo, pabili po ng sigarilyo.
Napaisip. Alam mo kasi malalim ako mag-isip, Sir Denny. So, mo akong ginaganyan. Okay. Sige. Bahala ka.
And of course, our last mode.
Ginulog po ni Sir Dennis ang mundo ko kasi nilalaliman kong mag-isip, ang babaw lang pala ng sagot. My
Kaya
goodness.
nga. Common sense.
Okay.
Naman.
Let's have number 5. We also have what we call, the last one is spatial.
Spatial.
Okay, ito yung mga tipong halimbawa ni Sir Dennis, special.
Spatial. Kasi space, the use of space.
Yeah.
Yan.
Okay, kailan ito nakikita? Okay? Take note, when we talk about spatial, there is positioning, the physical arrangement, proximity, gano'ng kalayo, gano'ng kalapit. Okay. Kaya naman hook na hook sila siguro sa magagandang tanawin because there is something to be seen and meron siyang magandang arrangement. Okay. Balance. Okay.
The example mo ito, mami, pag umuwi ka ng bahay, nakita mo malinis ang bahay mo. Di ba, umalis ka madumi, pag dumating mo malinis, may dahilan yun.
Okay, that's also, you are good at arranging your home. Okay, pag bali-balik ka rin ang
Either
bahay.
sweldo mo ngayon, o birthday niya, o ano pa man. Ganun eh.
Okay. Special yan. Pag pumunta ka sa isang kasalan at hook na hook ka sa ganda ng arrangement ng mga flowers and
Ng mga
seating
upuan,
arrangements, di ba?
yes.
So that is something special. At karamihan, ang gumagamit ito talaga, very talented sila in decorating.
Mga
Maganda
artistic.
ang kanilang artistry. Okay. So, yan po ang ating 5 modes of communication. Kung meron pa kayong ibang alam na modes, sa inyo na lang po yan. Didiscuss po natin sa susunod pang kabanata. Okay.
Abangan.
Okay, so it's very important yung diniscuss ni Ma'am Jen, di ba? Yung 5 modes of communication. Not only for the learners, but for us educators. Kasi, di ba, sa classroom mismo, we could assess our students kung sino yung ipupunta sa harap, yung farsighted, at saka yung nearsighted, at saka yung mga
With hearing impairment.
Yes.
Sino yung
Aside from
pingi?
that, Ma'am Venus, kasi when we develop our learning resources, ayan naman, learning materials for our students, you can also use this modes para mas interesting.
Okay, so dear learners, when we express our ideas using any 2 or more of these 5 modes of communication, so ano yung 5 modes of communication? We have linguistic, audio, visual, gestural, and spatial. So we come up with multimodal text.
Lapit lang, ma'am. Lapit lang.
Okay, so when we say multimodal text, these are a combination of 2 or more modes such as written and spoken language. Ito yung tinatawag natin na linguistic modes. And also, patterns of meaning such as visual. Mga nakikita natin, mga moving images, audio, yung naririnig natin, gestural, mga gestures, and spatial to convey meaning. So this definition is from the New London Group 2000, Cope and Catrice 2009. So from the word multi alone, it means more than one. So let's say, for example, when you use a linguistic mode of communication and you combine it with audio, or gestural mode of communication, that is already an example of multimodal text.
Kaya yung audio, tapos with gestures,
Yes, kahit anong
nagsayaw
mode.
ka, that's
Yes.
already
Multimodal.
multimodal.
Kumanta
Okay.
ka with music instrument. Okay, that's
That's also
also
multi.
multimodal text.
Okay, so take note of the 5 modes of communication, the linguistic, the audio, visual, gestural, and spatial. Kasi when you combine all the 2 or more of this, you will come up with multimodal text. And of course, if we have 5 modes of communication, we also have different types of multimodal text that we can use or we can develop. So, a multimodal text can be paper-based or printed. Meaning, this is conveyed through the reader's varying combinations of written language and still language. So, pag paper-based siya or printed multimodal text, ito yung sa comics, ayan.
Yeah,
Ito yung mga, graphic novels, newspaper, mga picture books,
magazines,
mga brochures, print advertisements, printed infographics, posters, and storyboards. Kasi meron siyang language, written language, and at the same time, meron siyang under visual.
Yes, kasi may
So,
picture.
it's a combination of 2 kasi may mga pictures siya.
At nakikita ng ating
mga mata. So, visual. That's why it falls under paper-based or printed multimodal text. So, we have here...
Okay,
we have here an example, which is a printed infographic. As you can see, 2 modes of communication are used. We have the language, written language to be specific, and we have the visuals kasi may mga pictures siya. So, as you can see in your screen, I am showing a printed infographic about teen pregnancy in the Philippines. Oh, sige. Merong mga info tidbits dito na teen pregnancy rose by 70% between 1999 to 2009. O kaya of the 17 million births in 2009, over 11% involved teen mothers.
Oh.
And it says in our infographic that teen pregnancy is complicated. Okay. This printed infographic, as you can see in our screen, also presents the status of teenage pregnancy in our country. Alarming siya, very alarming now, most especially if we are going to look into statistics. Dito sa Isabela pala, we rank number 1 with the highest number of teenage pregnancies in the Philippines. Wow, it's really
alarming.
Yes.
Yes.
Diba? Okay, so because of that, we have this trivia.
Okay, so meron tayong nakuhang information and this is very factual. Okay, so I would like to share. So based on the report submitted by the local government units, the teenage pregnancy rate or the TPR in Region 2 is continuously declining for the past 3 to 4 years.
Paalala po nagde-decline siya
pero
sa buong Cagayan Valley, pero still alarming kasi Isabela pa rin ang nangunguna.
True.
So, I will continue. In the year 2017, the TPR is 2.58 and it gradually declined to 1.85 in 2020. Among the 5 provinces, ito na, Isabela recorded the highest TPR in the year 2020 at 2.3. Although it is declining, 1 pregnant teenager is still too many according to former Health Secretary Esperanza Cabral.
Okay.
Oo naman. Kasi imbes na nasa school, ang pupuntahan lying in o kaya maternity hospital para manganak.
Yes.
So na si Ma'am Venus na lang daw.
Kaya nga. Paano naman pag face-to-face na, ma'am, i-ano mo yung anak ko,
Oo. Okay lang yun.
That makes it complicated because being teenager and they'll get pregnant, medyo talagang magkakaroon ng mga, ang tawag dito, may da-divert ang kailang mga focus imbis nag-aaral. Ayan, punta sila magpa-check up.
Most especially physically, you are not yet prepared for that.
Yeah, because it's too early. They are too young.
It's too early. And financially,
emotionally, financially, hindi sila ready talaga.
So there are many factors that we need to consider. Okay.
With the given data, dear learners, let's try to bring out our mathematicians. Okay, dito sa ating Facebook Live. Dear learners, it's time for you to win another 20 peso worth of load. And here is the very simple question. with the given data, compute the difference of TPR, or what we call teenage pregnancy rate, from 2017 to 2020. When we say difference, of course, we're looking for the answer for the operation subtraction. Okay, anong gagawin natin diyan dapat? May mga sagot na ba? Subukan natin.
Key in your answers in our chat box. What's the difference that would be yielded from the TPR of year 2017 and 2020.
Okay.
2020.
Ulitin natin ha, hindi porke bumababa daw ang kanyang rate, still alarming siya
Bumababa
kasi
yung number, pero still number
still
one
marami
pa
pa
rin
rin
naman tayo, no?
Tama. Again, subukan nga natin the data given a while back. We have 2.58 and we also have 1.85, and that is from the time or year frame 2017 to 2020. Ano daw ang difference nila for us to find the rate? Okay.
That's percent, Ma'am Jen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Percentage. Okay, please bring out the mathematician in you and look for the difference.
Ipakita nga natin, Ma'am Bels, yung kanilang
May
possible.
answers na ba tayo?
Wala pa nga.
So far, wala pa, ma'am.
Oo.
Okay,
Natulog na
maghintay.
yata yung mga estudyante natin o nahirapan sila sa question natin
Oo.
dito. Dear learners, again, ibalik mo nga, Ma'am, yung data. Baka hindi nila gets na may data tayo.
Okay, ang
Backward
data
tayo ng
natin, ano
konti.
yung 2017 natin?
Yung 2017 data natin, Ma'am Bebs.
2.58.
We have 2.58. And
And
up to 2020,
Our
we
data
have,
for 2020 is 1.85.
yes.
So,
And we're looking for the difference. Okay?
So 2.58 and 1.85.
Okay, find the difference for us to get
Yes.
the TPR rate. O sige, meron bang sagot yan?
May sumagot na ba?
Actually, Ma'am Bebs, wala pa. Siguro nakikinig lang talaga sila, hook na hook sila sa kanilang pakikinig.
Hopefully.
Nag-audio
Ira
lang sila.
Asuncion, 10
Ayan,
Rutherford,
meron ako
0.73.
Ayan.
Ayan, tingnan natin later. Ira,
JC
your
Marita
answer is
Bago,
correct.
point-
Mahina lang pala
0.73.
yung internet connection
Oo,
natin.
ma'am.
Nicole
Sorry,
Castillo, 0.73.
Dami
Ellen
nilang
May
sumagot.
Domingo, 0.73.
Nako.
Cyril Bagnoy, 0.73.
Ayan.
73.
Delay lang ang
Oo,
ating mga
delay.
sagot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you dear learners. Akala po namin natulog na kayo. Nag-isip na naman po kami ng masama, patawad. Ayan, Lord, patawad.
Okay, let's find out how will you get the correct answer. Para tingnan natin. It will give them the idea if their answer is correct.
Yes.
Okay. So, you just subtract 2.58, which is the data in the year 2017, and 1.85, 2020's data. And
Yes.
so, you will yield 0.73 or 73%. And I
Okay.
guess everybody who keyed in their answers got the correct one. But of course, we shall give the prize to the first one. Sino yon?
Ira Asuncion of 10 Rutherford.
Okay. So, congratulations, Ira.
Ira, ayan. Tingnan natin yung data, mga anak. It's 73%. Okay, most probably, in 3 years time, nasa 0.22 something tayo. Or 22% or 22.5.
Hopefully,
Okay.
bumaba.
Bumaba nga siya, pero still marami pa rin po yan.
Mas
Kaya,
mababa pa sa 0.73.
yeah,
Uy, times na naman natin sa 4 years.
let's all be very cautious.
Oo.
Alam niyo,
Yung
mga
iba kasi
anak-
nanganak na kaya kumonti.
Ay, nanganak na sila. Sana wag nang madagdagan pa, ano? Okay. You know, dear learners, things happen at the right time. And being in your teenage years is not yet the right time for you to get pregnant. Enjoy
Yeah.
your being young kasi ang sarap balik-balikan ng pagiging bata. At sana ma-enjoy nyo talaga yan. So being cautious and avoid engaging in premarital sex leading to teenage pregnancies. Okay, alam nyo, wag muna kayong maditaman pa ila isasarak ti bagbagi tayo, tihaan nga
Umiso.
umiso. Yung hindi maganda pa sa panahon kasi may mga pagkakataon na dapat nating pagplanuhang maigi. For us to avoid this very unfortunate situation, let's all remind our listeners and viewers that right now, indeed, ang pagiging isang ina o motherhood is a gift and a very rare opportunity.
Pero wag masyadong magmadali.
Yes, wag muna tayong magmadali kasi teenager pa lang po tayo. Yun ang i-enjoy natin, okay? Treasure every moment of your teenage years.
Yes. You know, being a mother is one of the essence of being a woman.
Yeah, yun
Ay,
lang.
naman eh,
Yes,
pang Miss
pang
Indian,
Miss
no?
India.
Susmita
Miss Universe, ito
Pero
pang
wag
Miss World.
magmadali.
Yeah,
Things happen at the right time.
true.
At the right age.
At mahirap pong maging isang mabuting magulang o ina. Hindi po kasi lahat tayo ay may kakayanang maging nanay at magluwal po ng sanggol. Okay? And
But of course, pag wala kang anak, hindi naman ibig sabihin na
yes,
hindi ka,
it does
hindi ka
not
important
make you less
member
as a
of
woman
the...
or as a person. Kasi marami pa naman tayong ways, di ba? Again, we
You can
repeat
be a
po,
mother even
it does
without...
not make you less as a person if you could not bear a child.
Yeah, physically giving
Yeah,
birth
because
to a child.
sabi nga nila, everything happens for a reason. What if you are destined to be immaculate conception?
Or you are
Sabing
destined
ganon,
to be not a mother but a father.
Hindi lang yun. If you're destined to be a wife lang, di ba?
Naging Jake Cyrus ka na.
Kaya to be a friend.
But you could be a mother for all without even giving birth naman. di ba?
Yes,
Just
physical.
like si tayo, si Ma'am Venus. yan.
Biological.
Actually, I'm still waiting, ma'am. Parang elephant, di ba? Elephant is the longest, it takes long,
Ilang
gestation.
taon?
Gestation.
22 months ata, ma'am.
22 months?
Yes.
Eh, ikaw na
Hindi na
22
elephant.
years na yata. Ma'am Venus,
Hindi
years
na
naman yung sa'yo.
Hindi na igbo pang elephant.
Okay. Take note again, mga anak, being a mother, it encompasses utmost responsibility and preparedness.
Yes.
May mga bagay po na
Yes.
dapat nating pagplanuhang maigi, paghandaang maigi, dumaan tayo sa tama at maghintay sa tamang panahon at higit sa lahat sa tamang tao. Okay. Right time, right place, and
The right person.
Right person.
But how will you know if he or she is the right person?
we will just feel it, ma'am, and pray
Naku,
for
pang
it.
isang linggo ng discussion natin to, ma'am.
Okay. I hope kahit papaano nag-sink in po to sa ating utak, mga anak, ano? Let's all be prepared, let's all be cautious. Enjoy your teenage and don't get pregnant, please. Huwag niyong unahan si Ma'am Venus.
Correct.
Parang awa niyo na. Okay. Sir Dennis?
Okay.
Na-engage tayo masyado sa discussion.
Number two, proceed na po tayo sa natin number 2, multimodal text. Ito po yung tinatawag nating charing. Wala pa. Ayan, diba? Meron diba?
We have
Okay,
now.
wait lang.
Yes, yan ang number 2 natin. Digital. Ayan. Digital presented through dynamic combinations of various modes across written and spoken language. Still and moving visual image, audio, gestures, and spatial communicative resources gaya po ng digital slide presentation. Ito po yung nakikita niyo yung PowerPoint natin, ha? E-posters, e-books, and social media. May papakita po kami.
May example din kami
Example
dito.
po
Okay.
Ayan.
Are you aware of this picture, dear learners? Alam niyo ba yan?
Ayan. Yan po ha, mga bata, meron tayo dito ha, iba't ibang combination ng mga digital books yan, mga yan, tama po ba?
Oo.
Mga nakikinig
Ang
sa radio.
pinaka-popular sa atin, of course, marami tayong mga estudyante na gumagamit nito using their gadgets, yung Wattpad.
Yeah, and from that Wattpad, they have encountered she's dating a gangster,
Yes.
which became a movie, okay, of the Katniel. Ayan.
Yes. So sa mga nakikinig po sa atin sa radyo, ha, na dito siyempre nandito sa Ma'am Beth, para bigay sa atin ilang mga nakikita rito, Ma'am. Ano po ba yung mga iba-ibang nakikita po
Ayan.
diyan?
We have there, Sir Dennis,
Sige, Ma'am Jen.
we have the Wattpad app, and yung isa naman po is the Q2 series yan. Q2 app yan, downloaded via Play Store.
Mhm.
Okay. At dyan po, tinawag natin siyang digital, sir, because with the use of our technology,
Yes.
Specifically our gadgets, mobile phones, we are
Internet
having-
connection, of course.
With internet connection, we now have e-books. With the click of our fingers, nakakapagbasa na tayo.
Oo.
And multimodal siya in a sense na nakikita ng mata.
Yes.
Okay, may mga pictures, there are images, And the words itself, linguistic siya. And minsan meron pa yung mga magagandang version yan with audio.
Yes.
So,
Oo.
ayan po. Kaya siya tinawag
siya-
na multi-modal.
Digital
Digital
dancer.
siya. With
At
the
higit sa
use
lahat,
of-
nasa computer na siya.
Yeah, technology,
Technology
sir.
na siya. So, taas-taas ang mga kamay ng mga readers natin, ha? Ng mga Wattpad app at hook the hook sa mga e-book apps. Gaya po ng Yugto. Dati pocket books lang hawak natin. Nung bata kami,
Oo,
pocket
ako din.
books lang comics, no?
Ay, hindi ko naabutan yun.
Ay,
Gadgets
sorry.
na ako.
Sige,
cellphone.
Dennis,
Oo.
remove. Kaya sige na, now with our Gadget Smartphone, we have e-books collections.
Okay, di ba? Ganyan na nag-transform ang ating ways of communication.
Oo nga.
From being very traditional, now we are moving to very technological. Ang
Thanks
ganda
to
naman.
technology.
Yeah.
Yung Waze, ba? Yung Waze, ang tawag natin doon.
Ah.
Multimodal pa rin. Di ba multimodal pa rin
Yes,
yung
kasi
Waze?
technology pa rin siya.
Oo,
sir.
technology-based.
Turn right.
Speaking of technology, we're very thankful that we have so many innovations. Dahil dyan, nagkaroon tayo ng mga pagbabago. And
Yes.
Well,
primarily-
actually, it's because of technology that we have these different modes.
Yes.
We can now form multimodal
Kung kayo
text.
yes.
Kasi dati, lang, written and verbal
Yes.
or oral. Oral.
Kaya huwag mag-alala yung mga estudyante natin ng Donya, baka next year may robot na po tayo rito, ha?
Okay. And that is, of course, alam na natin yan. Thank you na lang sa ating technology.
Yay!
With our technologies, we are trying to create more effective ways of communication.
Check it,
Kaya
check
lang
it,
word
check
of caution.
Okay, caution. Tama.
In using technology, mas especially our gadgets.
Yes.
Diba?
There should be proper time limit or time management.
At dapat alam nyo kung ano ang binabasa ninyo. Dahil sa edad ninyo, ingat-ingat lang tayo sa binabasa natin.
Yes. Kailangan natin dito
Or sa
maging-
pinapanood.
Oh, yeah.
We need to be really cautious. Ayan. Of course, mangyayari lamang ito with the proper guidance of our parents and teachers din.
Pag nangyari at
Okay.
nagkamali kayo ng binasa, babalik tayo doon sa unang problema. na
Oo,
binasa kayo.
tama.
Yeah.
Sa teenage pregnancy.
Okay, so another example of multimodal is live. Okay, so these are shown through combination of different modes such as gestural, spatial, and oral language. So we have here an example, dance performances or oral presentation.
Okay.
May example ba tayo
Meron
dyan,
tayong
ma'am?
example dito, ma'am.
Sige, ma'am.
Try natin.
May sound ba yan, ma'am?
Meron siyang sound pero ewan ko lang kung naririnig nila.
Yes.
Wow. Uy, tayo ba yan?
Oo, nung ano pa to.
Three ka ba dyan? Gusto yung ganyan eh.
Oo.
Ayun, si Ma'am Venus nasa likod.
Bakit sarap ako?
Ayan.
Si Sir Dennis po yung bata sa gitna.
Ano natin nasa gitna? Di pa nasa gitna. Hindi ako gumawa ng video dyan.
Okay. Merry Christmas.
Ayan naman.
So, that is an example of a live. So, let's take that example. So, that is an example of live performances. So, as you can see with the example, it uses different modes of communication. The movement, the body language, and the steps of the dancers fall on gestural mode.
Yes.
And the formation, di ba meron silang mga formation sa dance nila?
Oo.
And that is under spatial.
Spatial.
And also, it is combined, di ba, may kanta kasi yun, combined with language and music, that's under audio and linguistic. Of course, meron din siya mga colors and also, we can see it, the movement of the dancers, kaya siya naging visual. So, with that examples of multimodal, I would like to greet you happy holidays, and I hope your holiday season is full of peace, joy, and happiness. But let's not forget the real meaning of Christmas, which is love.
Okay.
Christmas po.
Okay.
Tama, Merry
So
Christmas,
talking
Ma'am
about
Venus.
Christmas, we have here a trivia. The Philippines, one of 6 predominantly Christian countries in Asia, boasts the earliest and longest Christmas season in the world. Oh, bakit kaya?
Ang
Every
tagal,
year, Filipinos all around the world mark September 1. Kasi nga ito yung paggising mo ng umaga, may mga lumalabas na si Ninong Jose Marichan. 'Di ba?
Yeah,
As the
September
start
1 pa lang,
of
as early as
September 1.
September 1.
Basta mga Burr months as the start of the Christmas countdown.
Yeah.
The Burr months countdown, which runs from September to December, is one of the most important traditions that sets apart Christmas in the Philippines from celebrations in the rest of the world. Sobrang haba nga naman kasi September, October, November, December,
And
almost
Ma'am
4
Bebs,
months.
that is something that Filipinos abroad missed kapag
Yes.
andun sila. Kaya sabi
Yeah.
nila, there is no way of celebrating Christmas the way we celebrate it.
Kaya nga marami
There's no
ang
other way.
umuuwi, OFW, pag
During
Christmas.
Yes, kasi talagang iba ang ating
Iba
celebration.
pa rin ang Pasko sa Pilipinas.
Kaya that's Yeng Constantinos.
Oo. Kasi for us,
Maipatalo pa ba sa Pasko
yes.
sa Pinas?
Kasi nga, here in
Oh,
the
diba?
Philippines, it's a season of get-together and gift
Family
giving.
bonding.
Of
Meron
family
pa tayo, ma'am,
bonding,
yung
mga reunions.
Yung simbang gabi.
And of course, the
Inaabangan.
simbang gabi.
Simba ka ba kanila,
Oo.
ma'am?
Yes. Ano
Yeah.
ko yan, panata ko yan every year. That I finish the
Anticipated
9
Mass
day.
po kahapon.
Oo.
Okay.
Kaya lang medyo humirap na po ngayon. So, pwede naman tayong mag-celebrate na kahit simple lang, di ba?
Yes.
Kasi with the advent of the COVID-19, tapos may Omicron na naman, maraming mga nawalan ng trabaho. Okay.
Yeah.
So, do not spend much or do not spend lavishly or bumili ng mga gift. It's the thought that counts.
Yes.
Ano?
The spirit of Christmas is
Christmas.
not about spending
Lavishly
so much
or
lavishly.
spending extravagantly. As
Yes.
long as you celebrate it, what matters most is celebrating it with the people you
The
love.
people we love. Okay, with our families, loved ones, and of course, giving. Kasi of course, sabi nga, spirit of Christmas is all about giving. But of course, don't give if you do not have. Baka naman ibinigay mo na lahat, walang natira sa iyo. O, diba?
Oo, tama.
Okay. So, ayan Ma'am Bebs. Ang
Yes.
ganda ng discussion natin about Christmas. Again, advance Merry Christmas.
And of
now,
course,
let's move on.
stay safe everyone.
Yes,
Social distancing pa rin.
Yes.
True.
So, today, okay, discuss din natin mga kapatid, mga anak at mga teachers, ang benefits of using multimodal text. Okay po? So, let's have this PowerPoint natin. Ayan.
Yan.
Okay, students need to know how meaning is conveyed through the various modes used in the text, as well as how multiple modes work together in different ways to convey the story or the information to be communicated. Here are some reasons why students should use multimodal text. Number one, multimodal texts have the ability
Pwede ko bang kunin?
to improve comprehension for students. Paano paraan? When students learn through different modes, they have opportunities to learn and understand information in different ways. Sometimes, reading through a manual is not as easy to understand as watching a demonstration. Yeah.
Tama. Kasi sir, demonstration at times is one of the highest ways for us to learn. Okay, ayan one of the ways yan. Number 2, Ma'am Venus, aside
Yes,
from
number
what
2,
Sir
one
Dennis
of
mentioned.
another benefit of multimodal is that multimodal text can also increase motivation. So you probably have students that like watching videos but they don't want to watch videos as the only way of learning.
Yes.
There are no two learners alike. Pati nga kambal magkaiba, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Magkamukha man sila pero meron silang differences.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, even their abilities to learn are different. So, giving learners multiple modalities in which they can learn information can help increase their overall motivation toward learning. So, you learners are very lucky. Kasi nung panahon namin, kasi yung panahon nyo ngayon is digital age. Yung panahon namin,
Ano ba nung panahon niyo, ma'am? Kasi under digital kami.
chalk and board most
Oo.
likely. Kung sinuswerte naman, mayroon kaming Manila paper. Ganon. But still, we are motivated. So,
Yeah.
sa inyo ngayon, how much more ngayon na it's very techy, very creative and innovative to help you learn or to motivate you to learn. Di ba tayo as teachers, sa ating lesson plan, ma'am, sa motivation, we usually use itong mga multimodal to
arouse the
interest of the learner.
motivation part ng lesson natin.
And that is also one of the reasons why nabuo yung tinatawag nating multiple intelligences.
Yes, correct.
Wherein teachers need to take look at it para yun ang ibigay nila sa mga bata. Those who are interested to listen to music, they must give activities in their inclinations. Yung mahilig sa mga
So it's
videos.
nice to use multimodal
Oo.
kasi it addresses
The different
specific needs, the
of the
different needs of
learners.
the learner.
Yan, naintindihan
Okay.
natin yan. Let's have now the last one, number 3. of course, multimodal text also allows students to create multimodal text that can help them express their learnings in the different ways. Okay? If
That's
only
right.
you are resourceful enough and you try to navigate all possibilities talagang with our digital age, with our technologies, marami po tayong pwedeng mabuong magagandang mga bagay, multimodal elements. O baka dahil dyan, nakabuo na kayo ng isang music video, ipinost nyo sa YouTube, nag-trending, you are now becoming a vlogger, certified vlogger with 1.2 million viewers in just 1 minute.
And you will
diba?
earn, ano?
Yes,
Ang laki pala
Ma'am
ng ini-earn nila sa ganyan.
Ang ganda-ganda, ano? So, lahat ng mga vloggers dyan ngayon talagang they use multimodal elements and with that talagang ang dami lang benefits at nakatutulong pa sila.
Yes.
Okay. They share their blessings, ano? Okay. Yan po,
So, share your
learners.
blessings and bring out the artistic inclination in you,
In you,
using multimodal text. Okay, so from our lesson this morning, we have learned that communication is not only relaying messages or information through voice and letters. Whenever we communicate, we use several processes called modes. These modes are our way of communicating and creating meaning. Thanks to modern technology, different modes of communication exist. Technology has really changed the way we perceived information, from details usually printed on paper to internet-based programs that allow information to pop up easily on our gadgets.
Yes.
And the society we live in is indeed relying on information presented in and through the different modes. And you have learned the different modes a while ago, from linguistic to audio to visual and many more, up to spatial. When we combine these modes, we form multimodal text. Of course, in making multimodal text, we need to consider the different elements as to
Yes.
linguistic, visual, audio, or oral, to gestural, and the last one, which is the spatial.
Yeah. And Ma'am Debs, also, we are not trying here to compare what the olden times and the, of course, new era. Hindi natin sila pinagko-compare na mas better yung ganyan. But what our point here is, at least, let's try to enjoy all these modes of communication and use it on its maximum point, sabihin na lang natin.
Yes, enjoy and learn to appreciate.
Yes.
Okay.
Because kung yung mga pinagdaanan natin talagang magaganda rin naman. Okay.
Okay. Sige.
Okay, so this time, let us check what we have understood from our lesson. So we will be giving you 3 questions, and please key in your answer in our chat box with your name and section, and of course, don't forget the item number before the answer.
Yes.
Okay, let's have number
Give them
1.
3 items, Ma'am Venus.
Yes,
We have here the
Okay.
top 3
Top 3,
questions.
ganda ng title. Okay, let's have number 1. Okay? These are texts with a combination of 2 or more modes to create meaning. These are these are texts with a combination of 2 or more modes to create meaning. Is it A, modes, B, multimodal, or letter C, special mode?
Okay, so
Anong
is
sagot
it
natin
A,
doon?
B, or
C.
Okay.
Key in the item number plus the letter of your answer in our chat box.
Again, clue word
Nicole
combination
Nicole
of 2
Castillo,
or more
B.
modes.
Ay, may
Tracy
answer na,
Marie,
sir.
A. Eliza Juan, B. Cyril Labagnoy, B. Alexis Manzano, B. Nadia Atendido, B.
Okay.
Okay. Yung mga sagot nila.
Mostly, they answered letter B, Ma'am Bebs.
Okay, let's
reveal
find
the answer.
out if their answers are correct. The correct
Yeah,
answer
very
is,
good.
of
Letter
course, you
B.
got it right. Letter
Yes.
B.
Okay. Nicole Castillo.
So, sino ang may freeload?
Okay,
Anong section,
Nicole
sir?
Castillo.
Nicole Castillo
Ten Mendeley.
from Ten Mendeley.
Ten
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Nicole.
Congratulations, Nicole.
Next, number 2. We have number 2. Ayan na number 2 natin. Ito, ha? Which is or which are an example or examples of multimodal text? Is it A, slides using PowerPoint, B, A, movie, poster, or C, both A and B?
Ano daw po yung example dyan ng multimodal text, ano? Ayan po, number 2
Ayan,
na tayo.
Cyril Labagnoy Feliciano, 10 SPJ. C, John Mar Galandre, yes, Janoria, 2 C, number 2, C. Andrian Balanza, C. Eliza 1, C. Cyprian Brains, C. Puro po C ang kanilang.
Okay, let's reveal
Is
the
it
answer.
letter C? Let's find out.
Okay, very good.
Ah.
Yes,
Letter C.
congratulations.
Who's our lucky
Cyril
winner?
Labagnoy Feliciano of 10
Oh,
SPJ.
Cyril Labagnoy.
Yes.
Congratulations, Cyril.
Next.
And let's have our top 3. Question number 3.
Okay. Ako na, Ma'am Bebs, top 3.
Ikaw na.
Okay. Which of the
Ikaw na
following
talaga.
statement is false about multimodal text? Is it letter A? A multimodal text only requires one mode. One mode lang po ba? For letter B, multimodal text incorporate more than one modes. Okay. Or letter C, videos may incorporate visual, written, and reading elements, which is false. Ano daw yung mali dito sa mga statements po na ito about multimodal?
yes.
Cyril Labagnoy Feliciano, A. Jonah Jamaica, A. John Mar, A. Eliza 1, A. Mac George, A. Angela Grace, A. Halos lahat po ng sagot nila ay letter A.
Okay, let's
Shall we reveal the answer?
Yes, Ma'am Beth.
Ayoko pa. Okay, the correct answer for number 3 is letter A.
Yes, A kasi
Yes.
Ma'am Bebs, ang sabi diyan sa sentence nato, no, it requires one. And from the word multi, it means
It
more
should be
than
2
one.
or more.
Nanalo na si Cyril,
Yes.
okay pa rin ba? Okay, Cyril, congratulations. Ikaw pa rin ang napili. Okay.
Okay.
Sana all pinipili.
Sige.
Okay, Ma'am.
You know, dear learners, we are very lucky and we are very thankful that you stayed with us from the first minute down to the last minute for our 4th lesson and last lesson for quarter 2. But it does not mean na tapos na po ang lesson natin. We're done with only 2 quarters, dear learners. Ano?
Yes.
Still, you have 2 more. Kaya, sustain the passion, of
Sustain
course,
the interest in
sustain the
listening
interest.
to us.
Medyo malungkot lang kami ng konti ngayon because the highest viewer yata pumalo lang ng almost 70. But still,
Okay pa rin siya.
naging okay pa rin kasi from very low number, medyo tumaas toward the end, towards the
Yes,
end.
yes. Pero sana next time, mga anak ha, makinig
Mas marami
tayo,
pa.
pagod tayo kasi bahagi ito talaga ng pag-aaral. Yan.
Yes.
We are trying to enhance
Yes.
whatever is written in your learning activity
Activity
sheets.
sheets.
That's why we are conducting this live
Yes,
discussion.
Yes. And of course, this RBI lesson, Ma'am Deb, is one great example of our multimodal
Modal.
text. Why?
Yes.
You get to see us. O, di ba?
Kahit man lang dito,
Dennis.
nagkikita tayo, di ba?
And you get to hear our voices.
voices.
Okay, may pa ganyan pa. Not only that, you also get to listen to our lessons. So talagang multimodal siya.
At marami pa kayong mga additional information na natututunan.
Yes, tama yan,
Diba?
Ma'am Bebs. So indeed, multimodal text is one of our lessons na talagang kapupulutan natin ng aral, and that is very useful. Okay, Ma'am
Yes.
Bebs?
We can use in our everyday life.
Any more takeaways, Sir Dennis? Or dear teachers? Or we have already said everything.
We have already mentioned everything.
Yes, yes.
We just
Okay.
hope that our learners will really apply whatever they have used, except teenage pregnancy. Ano, Ma'am
Yes.
Bebs?
Kung may
And-
katanungan sila, please mag-text po kayo o mag-message po kayo sa ating mga subject teacher po natin.
And of course, I would like to congratulate yung mga nag-stay
Yes.
hanggang sa last
Sana all
minute
nag-i-stay.
naman. Sana all nag-stay.
And also,
Okay.
we would like also to congratulate those learners who participated, pero
Yes.
unfortunately, they didn't have the chance to win kasi may konting
Oo, better luck next time.
Yes. Again, there you have it, dear learners, our lesson on multimodal text. On behalf of my fellow grade 10 English teachers, Ma'am Beverlyn Ramirez, ayan, Ma'am Venus Lintao, okay,
Happy holidays!
To Sir Dennis Mendoza, and of course, the man behind the camera, to the guapo Sir Joshil, technical specialist, Sir Joshil Guillermo, I would like to leave you a quote from Eric F. Douglas. Naku, mahaba-haba ito.
Pinahaba ko talaga.
Communication styles are manifestations of our personalities, but they are not the same as personalities. Personality is relatively stable, changing only subtly over time. Our style of communicating, on the other hand, is learned behavior. We can modify it once we learn how. Again, I am teacher Jennifer A. Velasco. Till next session for another #lesson accomplished in grade 10 English. Happy holidays!
Sandali lang ha, may announcement na tayo para sa
Okay.
mga MAPE ha. Sa sumbahay nila, pinapa-announce nila yung mga estudyante daw po natin na gusto sumali po sa sumbahay. Kayo po ay iniimbitahan ng MAPE Learning Area po to makipag-participate po kung gusto po ninyo sumali sa ating sumbahay. Please contact Sir Mark John Domingo para po sa iba pang detalye o bubisita kayo sa MAPE Club po, sa Dance MAPE Club sa Facebook po nila.
Okay,
Salamat.
join in the Sumbahay and bring out your spatial and
Oo,
gestural
diba?
modes,
Oo.
diba? Ipakita niyo ang iyong mga talento. Again, happy holidays, Merry Christmas in advance. See you
Merry
again.
Christmas. We love you
Okay.
guys. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Facts and information. Today's learning for you normal with capable teachers whose heart and soul are divine. Delivered knowledge inside your home through 106.3 Dance Radio. Fully dedicated to serve the public in tribute to education, reproduce of radio-based instruction. We are pleased to deliver the utmost aim of education. Only here on 106.3 TWDR-FM. Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio.